Whew. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Pod Maverick After Dark. I'm Kirk Henderson, joined as always by Josh Bowe. It is 9:30 on Monday evening. The Dallas Mavericks just got, I don't know. I don't even have a proper verb for it. It was one of the least competitive basketball games I've seen in quite some time. They lost 120-96. Josh, how are you?
I'm okay. I don't know how much we're going to talk tonight. Like, I'm going to be honest. Like, I don't.
That's fine. Yeah.
There's just that. I think this is something we've repeated a bunch. I know I've said it a bunch, is even when the team's bad, Kid has his guys playing hard. And
right.
that was this was the first game. And basically, the Memphis game was bad and the Spurs game was bad. So they've had three really bad, unwatchable games. And they were kind of due. Like, you kind of look at the schedule, like, since they lost Houston, they went New Orleans, Memphis, Washington, Milwaukee, Phoenix, LA, Portland. Like, that's one good team. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 games, and they played one good team. And Milwaukee is, by the way, like, they're actually not playing all that great. They're kind of struggling. They're 8-7 now. And almost all those games were at home. Like, Minnesota was the first time they've played like a real team in a while.
Well, and I don't even know if I consider Minnesota a real team. All their wins have come against sub 500 teams. All of them. I did a little looking around during the game because I was kind of bored. And Minnesota fits precisely in that play-in playoff race. They're sixth, maybe they might be fifth tonight. But they're better than the Mavericks.
They're a hell of a lot better than Portland and Phoenix and Memphis and Washington and New Orleans. Like, yeah. There's certainly a tier up from that. I just don't think the Mavericks they haven't played a really good team. They played one okay team in about 3 weeks, and almost all of them, but like, they haven't been away. Like, they were just due to get their doors blown off, and then they sat 2 of their starters. Like, even if the Mavericks were at full strength, Minnesota's way better than them. So the forces aligned, and then the disappointing part was, they kind of gave up in the third quarter, which is not, it's been something that they do. So it just makes it hard to talk about.
Yeah. These 2 overtime games in particular, it's like you play 2 overtime games where and the Mavericks played hard in both of those overtime games. They had to go get on a plane last night after the game and head to Minnesota. They were in, I'm sure they didn't arrive in Minnesota or their hotel until like 3 or 4 in the morning. And I know it's the NBA, that's part of their jobs, but I am also not unsympathetic to the notion of just being tired at one's job. But I'll tell you, it's good that they won last night, because if they had lost that game, then gone and gotten drubbed, it's just, you want to like snatch the little moments of like, all right, this is a fun win. And we more or less talked about that last night, which was the case where we kind of had a feeling they were going to get beat, but I just didn't like the way this game went down. Trying to think like where to start with this, because I don't want to belay the point too long, but it's all right. You know what? The Cooper Flagg thing I want to put off for a little bit. Why the hell didn't Derek Lively play? He played 12 minutes last night. Let's not act like that was a robust 12 minutes for him either. Like, he was ass. Like,
injury management is what they're saying.
Weak shit. Get on the court. Get on the fucking court. If you want a contract extension one day, play a basketball game. Like, you're right in that last night, your point last night, as far as he's not played enough to establish a rhythm. And when they do stuff like this, particularly when I don't understand why it's needed, like, he had a bone bruise. What on God's green earth is taking a game off going to do to heal a bone bruise? Like, I assume that's why he missed all the time. I don't know. It's more symptomatic of the issue at hand. Like, Daniel Gafford was off tonight. He might have tweaked his ankle. We don't know. I understand why he didn't play. Anthony Davis didn't play because he's never gonna play ever again, and this is just one big fucking cosmic joke that we have to experience game after game. And going up against the Timberwolves is just, there's a too big lineup team. It is what it is. This is a first game, so they're what are they, 4-11 now, 15th game of the season. This is the first game of the season where I truly felt like that was a waste of our fucking time. And that's, I think, what annoys me, because I was just telling somebody today how they've been the kind of bad where I have things that I want to talk about. And there are things I want to talk about from this game, because, some of the alignment of what we have going on is borderline indefensible. And I'm curious if you think I'm overreacting, or if there's any one particular area that you would like to talk about.
I mean, we have to talk about Cooper, and I don't know if you want to.
Let's do it first. Yeah.
Because I didn't know how you wanted to split up the shows with the ad breaks and stuff.
Well, let's do it, because he's the only player who shot above 50%.
Yeah, and he was 1, 2, 3 players had more field goal attempts than him. I think the field goal attempt, like, part of it is like, it's just kind of natural. He's a rookie. He's not a self-creator in the traditional sense. Mm-hmm. But then on the other side of it, it's really feeling like that first half of Luka's rookie season, when like Wesley Matthews and Harrison Barnes and all these vets were just like, this is our team. Like, this, I don't think it was like
Rick was placating
malicious.
Too.
Yeah, I don't think it was like malicious. Like, I don't think Harrison Barnes and Wesley Matthews like didn't like Luka. It was more just like, hey, we are the vets, and this is our team, and this is the pecking order, and this is the hierarchy, and you're the rookie, and you have to wait your turn, until it's your turn. Like, that's just kind of how it goes.
That's right.
I'm starting to see a little bit this, with Cooper, for sure. Some of it has to be Cooper has to be more aggressive. Some of it has to be there's things for Cooper to work on where he can get himself more shots. But the other part of it is guys have to look for him more, and the coaches have to help him out. Like, there's no reason why he should have had 10 shots in 27 minutes. Like, that's crazy. Like, you just, even if, the vets are going to vet and all that stuff, like, there's got to be ways out of timeouts. There's got to be ways coaching. There's just got to be a little bit more. Like, does Cooper even set? I don't have.
He doesn't set screens.
Yeah, I was going to say,
he's not involved in the actions.
I don't have access to the data like some of our friends do. That actually tell you how.
We watch that game close enough, man. When he's involved in the play, it becomes more dynamic. It just does.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know why he's not setting more on ball screens. Like, he just needs to. He's such a good downhill like it ties into everything he's good at. He's such a good downhill player. It's kind of secondary decision making. He's not handling the ball. He's kind of reacting to a scattered defense. Like, do that way more often, and they don't do it at all. And I don't know if it's a rookie thing where he just doesn't know how to. The coaches don't feel like they trust him setting screens. They don't want him picking up cheap offensive fouls because he's going to set moving screens. Like, because, I don't know, I don't know. Not in the locker room. I'm not at practice. So maybe there's a list of reasons why they don't do it. And they're justified. But when we're watching these games and they lose by 40 points, it's like, I don't care if he does foul out, or he does pick up like a couple of tiki-tack offensive fouls. You're down by 40. Let's try something, guys.
Right. Do anything. And that's where the element of this comes into play, where it's just not fun. Just not fun to watch. I mean, we're not saying, and to be clear here, I'm not absolving Cooper of any blame. Like, he was listless in a large respect tonight. One rebound is kind of indicative of that in his 27 minutes. Like, that's, and everybody is allowed to be tired. We talked about this. It's just, it sort of just stands out where if he's not involved, it was the chat points out that Coop was a team worst -27. And I find that's, he's out there with guys. It's awful. I mean, look at some of the other plus minuses while you're going through this. Like, at one point in time, Caleb Martin was like a -13 in 4 minutes of play. Like, and Cooper was out there for those minutes. It's tough. I just find myself for tonight like really gross out. Like I'm on the record saying I'm not going to be mad at D'Angelo Russell, and so I'm like doing my best to not be mad at D'Angelo Russell. But his Ricky Davis routine is so fucking old. I mean, he was ass again tonight. I mean, it really horrible stuff.
I'm confused on what happened to his 3-point shot.
I mean, he is. I'm just going through here and going back.
He's a career 36% shooter from 3. His he's been above 38 to he's been between 38 and 41 for most of this decade. And then he had a bad 24. Last season was his first season. With the Lakers, he shot 33%. With Brooklyn, he shot 29. So 31 for the last season. And I kind of just waved it off because he was hurt. And then he got traded to Brooklyn. They weren't trying to win. And I was like, that's just an anomaly. Because that didn't count. The full season before, 23-24, he was 41.5% on over 7 attempts. And now he's at 24.
Oh, and
he's
that
not even close. And he's not even close.
I just did some math. So in Mexico City, he was 7 of 13 from 3, and that lost to the Pistons.
That's got to be like all of his makes.
Since then, he is 6 of 40.
I'm surprised he's even made 6. If you would have told me he's made like 2, yeah,
right.
That's bad.
And Jonathan in chat is like on December 15th, they have to move on from him. This is one of the things that I sort of want to make. I don't want to like lecture, but like nobody's taking these players.
Yeah. Also, who's gonna play?
No
like, who's gonna play?
Like everyone's like, we got to offload all of our players. Like to who and
someone
what?
Someone has to suit up too.
Right.
Like someone has to play in the games. They only have all their 2-way slots are filled. Like they're kind of up against it with the cap. They're not going to be able to trade Russell for like some young prospect, even if he's like raw. Like this is just kind of the roster they built until they make like the bigger trades. The Davis, a Davis trade or a Clay trade or a Gafford trade. Like they're not getting. No one's trading for D'Angelo Russell.
All right, let's go to a quick break and then we'll close out. If you want to support the show here, guys, there are 3 ways to do so. One is telling your friends, word of mouth. As we get into the thick of things, you're going to run into people that are basically no longer interested in the Mavs. I get that. But if you find a fellow sicko out there in the wild, tell them about the Pod Mavericks podcast. Check us out. Organic growth is really the best way. Recommendations, leaving reviews, that sort of thing. Second, listen to our ads. That is one of the ways Josh and I get paid by our parent company. The third is there's a couple of links that I posted in the show notes. Direct support. We accept it. We're grateful for it. We'll be right back after insertion of these ads. All right, we're back. If you haven't subscribed to the show, go ahead and do so. We're kind of ticking up inch by inch, game by game. A few more followers. I get it. And I appreciate anybody that hits that subscribe button. My favorite thing about tonight was, just tweeting something to the effect that this is the worst game that we've had so far, and I hated watching it. And people being like, well, I'm watching the Cowboys. And it's like, if watching the Cowboys is the better alternative, we're in a bleak place because the Cowboys are also stinky.
Yes, they are.
But they are beating the Raiders 31-16 right now, so they got that going for them. What else should we chat about for a few minutes before we get out of Dodge here? I think we should highlight poor Moussa Cisse with his first career start as an NBA player. I think that's got to be pretty exciting for him. Hopefully they got him the game ball or something to that effect.
I would not he played 25 minutes tonight. If there was an over under on his minutes, I would have gone whatever it was. I would have gone under because I would have assumed he would have fouled out in like 10 minutes. So the fact that he stayed on the floor for 25 is great. Got a little overexposed with the extended time and being matched up with Rudy Gobert. So this wasn't one of his best games, but I still watch. I enjoy watching him. I could watch him run up and down the floor where when the possession changes and him trying to beat his man down to his spot
Yep.
I could watch that all day. I don't know what it is. Maybe that's the sicko part of me.
No, I mean,
But
energy is nice, and
yeah.
we've watched enough Mavericks over the last few years where we've had bigs. Willie Cauley-Stein's probably my favorite example of just like big guys that didn't run, that were extraordinarily athletic. It's like, what are you doing? Come on, use that power.
Yeah. I mean, they turned it over. How many turnovers did they end up having? I'm trying to click around. Mavericks actually they didn't have. Yeah, they had 19.
They had 10 in the first like 14 minutes. So that was like but the Wolves did too. I mean, it was a pretty sloppy start to the game because
Edwards was not engaged.
Edwards was like 0 for 6 before he finally scored. He was very just kind of lollygagging around, and Naz Reid was pretty much the engine for the Timberwolves. There wasn't really anybody else in the Timberwolves that was that exciting.
This was actually like relatively close-ish for like the first half because I don't think the Wolves were taking this game seriously, and then like I said, the Mavericks were, because that's like the Mavericks were playing bad, but they were playing hard in the first half. And then the third quarter happened and it was okay. They stopped playing hard and the Wolves stopped messing around. And that's what happens.
Right. Oh, goodness. One of the things that was interesting for me, just me in particular, is sometimes I have a hard time gauging how big or how tall NBA players are. And I liked seeing the Jaden McDaniels matchup on Cooper Flagg. McDaniels is a skinny 6'9", like he's never going to fill out. Seeing Cooper right next to him, Cooper is as tall as he's listed, which is nice to me. And it was just something to that sort of stuck out as I was watching on the tape. I don't know. Everybody's just kind of overexposed at this point on the Mavericks. It's not a good. PJ Washington had his 5 made field goals were all like hard, like attacking the bucket hard. But he just doesn't have enough regular juice to be the Mavs leading scorer. Like it's not his fault, but that's where the Flagg element of it just is frustrating because Flagg has led teams before. And they should force that issue. I don't know what they're going to do. Like there's a lot of people in the comments and in the chat that I've been seeing where it's like, why don't they fire Kidd? And I need everybody to understand this. Then we're probably gonna have to talk about this at length, so I'm gonna have to repeat it. Kidd, I think, had a pretty good idea that the tide was turning this summer, and he started to build himself an escape hatch. I think that's why he played Cooper Flagg at point guard so much, just to emphasize how rough the roster was. And then he's very clearly ingrained himself in the apparatus that is now advising Dumont. Because Dumont, and we kind of know this now, Nico, I hate to use this language, but it's good. It's a good enough descriptor. Nico isolated Dumont and gaslit him. That's the simplest explanation I can give. So like, there's no one talking to Dumont except for Nico Harrison. That was by design. Also, that's how a lot of businesses work, where it's like you got one people to. So now I think Dumont realizes that he wasn't surrounded by enough people, and he's getting different. Like Kidd has a probably some say in this, as does Matt Riccardi and Michael Finley. So it's for folks that are wanting Kidd to go. Kidd's not going nowhere. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't even like talking about it because it just feels stupid.
Now, does he need to do some different things? I think that's part of it. Like our Slack is sort of on fire about this dribble handoff offense, and at a certain point that might change because he's the head coach. He will choose to do something different.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean the dribble handoff stuff doesn't work when the reason why you're doing it is because you're playing like this big lineup, and then they're not playing the big lineup because they're all hurt. So like they need to be able to do something else, because I don't think you want Moussa Cisse and Dwight Powell handling the ball at the elbow a bunch, and then if Lively and Gafford are in and out of the lineup and Davis isn't playing, I don't know, maybe you just go back to spread it out, high pick and roll, and go from there, which they kind of do. They've been kind of doing with these guys out, but I don't know, kind of feels like a lost cause.
Sure.
Does anyone are the Caleb Martin trade defenders, are they still out there? I checked with them before the season and people were still like very passionate about. There were a certain amount of people that were very passionate about defending that trade. I haven't heard too much. I was thinking about kicking up the hornet's nest again, but he did double his field goal makes of the month of November in this game. So congrats, Caleb Martin, on a outstanding 6 minutes, 2 of 4 from the field. It's a big. I think that's the first game he's made. Is that the first game this season where he's made at least 2 shots?
Yes.
No. He had 2 more. He had one against Indiana, one against Toronto. Tied his season high in field goal makes with 2. So shout out.
It's so well. I mean, I'm pretty firmly of the belief that that he was planning on, meaning Nico Harrison was planning on assembling assets to go make a pitch for Kevin Durant. Like I just think that it's like small enough contracts, dollars adding up, moving. I just think that was the play. And it's I don't want to like defend Nico, but I think
it better have been if they gave up the pick. It better have been, well, we know we're going to do this big move.
Right.
If like that, if it's not that, then it's like, oh my God, like,
right.
What were you doing? Yeah,
real bad. Well, at least one Cowboy or at least one Dallas defense is productive tonight. The Cowboys just got a safety against Ashton Genty, so that's pretty wild. Poor Ashton Genty, the Frisco native, apparently has more yards after being hit than before being hit for the season. That's just hard to do. Obviously not a football podcast, but I can't help myself on a night like tonight. All right. Here's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
I'm kind of watching the chat. I just don't think there's the appetite for group therapy tonight. Now, the chat has about a minute or two to convince me otherwise if people actually want to talk. But otherwise, I think we just close this up because there's 5 Dallas games in a 7-day span.
Yeah.
That's 10 podcasts if we do everything after every game. There's just not enough to talk about in this one for me. I mean, we're at 23 minutes right now. And that's just, it's stuff out there. All right, Ash Boeing says he wants to talk, so he and I will hold the fort, and I'll let the Mavs Moneyball Slack know that we're up here. Actually, Josh, if you could copy and paste the guest invite thing in there, that would actually help me a lot. Guys, head on over to Mavs Moneyball tomorrow morning. Tyler Edsel has a piece running about college games that you should check out. So if you're realistically starting to do your own personal draft prep and get highly invested in guys that will more than likely will never play for the Mavericks, that's a good place to start. So we'll do a quick group therapy after this, and Josh will hopefully get to go to bed before 10:30 tonight, which would be a nice change of pace. So this has been fun insofar as Nass whipping like that can be fun. Stick around for group therapy. We will be right back. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Pod Mavericks Group Therapy. I have pinned the link to join the show in the chat. The easiest way to do that is just click on it, phone, computer, whatever you need. The Dallas Mavericks lost to the Minnesota Timberwolves. It was not a fun game. Josh and I just eked out a 20-minute podcast. That was also not a very fun experience, but that's just the way of things. This is a good question in the chat. So somebody asks, is the show on shorts format, meaning like YouTube shorts? So essentially what our StreamYard platform allows me to do is stream 2 kinds of streams. I think one is your traditional YouTube, and the other is where, you turn your phone on your side if you're watching it that way. The other, I think, presents like a vertical show. I think I'm still learning about it. And if it doesn't present vertically, it absolutely like trims Josh and I's face to where it's like this big in like these tiny little boxes. And there's 2 shows on the YouTube page, and you can tell one of them has like a little phone icon. So that's the best way that you're able to access it. Yeah, I see like myself now in the vertical thing where it's only showing like my head. So that's me needing to back up a little bit from the camera, but I was being self-conscious because I forgot to comb my hair. So that's really that thing there. Just as an example. Still learning how to do this. Remember, I'm my own producer and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Just kind of the way it goes. Friend of the show, Ash Boying, is waiting to talk, so we'll pull him up and chat for a few minutes. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, Kirk. Walking the dog.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
It's a great night to walk in Lantana. So, a couple of things. One thing that is still a problem, Cooper took 4 shots in the first half.
Yep. Not really sure what is. It just has to be a team priority. It's the only.
Yeah, you should force feed Cooper 8 shots a half. I mean, just have somebody. There should be an assistant coach that's dedicated to counting his shots, and at about 5 minutes to go, he needs to tell kid Cooper's taking 4 shots, and he needs to get 4 shots up in the next 5 minutes. That just needs to happen. And he played very efficiently with his shots. I mean, scored 15 points on 10 shots, but goodness gracious, I mean, he just needs to take more shots.
More than anything else, I don't understand why they can't call one Cooper friendly play per quarter. Like they have plays. We know they have plays. They do great stuff out of timeouts whenever they care to. And, these are NBA players. By this point, they've seen just about every possible play under the sun. There's got to be something to get him like a Dirk area post up and let him see what he can do. And if you don't want to do it 4 times a day, do it twice a game. Like just do something.
Or that you would. I think that 5 times a game he needs to get the ball on the wing and run pick and roll action. Now, tonight not that night to do that since you have nobody to roll to the basket. But I just think that's something that needs to happen.
Yeah.
So, they've got to figure out ways to get him involved because in the first half he looks like Kristaps Porzingis against the Clippers, just sitting over there in the corner.
Right.
Hey guys, I'm here. Whenever you feel like throwing me the ball. So that's a big problem because he comes out in the third quarter. He had a great quarter, 7 points on like 4 shots. And I'm just, and I will say one thing. I watched Denny Avdia last night, and that's what Cooper can become, a 26, 7 and 5 assist guy.
Yeah. I think these sort of slashing wings are a good model. If you're looking to project upside, he's not, your primary initiator like a Luka, but he's got the scoring chops and like the ability to put the ball on the floor and do something with it in 2 dribbles is kind of an underrated skill, I think, because a lot of guys get into the lane and they just don't know what to do. Because they played in situations their whole lives where they dominate physically, and then you run up against guys that are big. And it's like one of the things that's very misunderstood by, I think, a lot of fans who are at least skeptical of Flagg is that he's often drawing the best defensive assignment every night for the Mavericks. And he's managing to put points on the board anyways. And so I'm just impressed.
Yeah, Jaden McDaniels is a good defender, so I actually was looking forward to this game, and then he just didn't do anything in the first half. So, we are where we are. I mean, I just, again, I think we need to liquidate, and I know what you said about, who's going to take these guys, but, Najee Marshall has value. Clay's got value. Anthony Davis obviously has value. Derek Lively has value right now. I don't know how long that's going to last. He can't play. I mean, that's such a bummer.
I can't believe he didn't play. I'm sure it's some decision that's made, and we would, if they cared to disclose it, the decision would make some sense to me as a peon. out here, but it looks terrible. Like he didn't his minutes last night were pointless and ineffective. Like, what are we doing?
Right. And so, I mean, let's just roll with Cooper and Christie and draft 12 guys. I mean, honestly.
I don't, it's like Washington is going to be with the team because they can't move him.
They'll move him this summer, I would think.
Even then, I don't think they can move him until the full calendar year from his extension date.
Actually, they can move him 6 months, so they can move him in March, but that's past the trade deadline.
Okay, so it's like they can move him starting July 6th, I think, I looked this up today because I was trying to figure out when NBA Summer League was going to be.
Right.
And like the NBA business year, I think, starts on July 6th. So we'll see where they go.
But they can move him this summer, and quite frankly, I've been gaming out trades, forever. If I were the San Antonio Spurs, he would be the top of my list.
Yeah.
And I'd make that trade in a second where I'd say, you know what, give me your 2030 draft pick, because then that gets me back my pick swap too. So.
Right. It's something.
And that gives you some control.
Yeah.
All right, well, listen, it's a short night. I know you're tired, back to back, so I'm gonna let you go and get to bed.
All right, thanks, man. Appreciate you joining the show, though. Always like talking.
Talk to you later.
All right. If anybody else wants to talk, feel free to click into that link. I don't really. It's just one of these games where it's like I think you can, and Josh and I did this to a degree, where you can really overemphasize the negative if that's what you want to do. But for me, it's on to the next one. They play. Who do they play here next? I'm just going to throw this all up on one podcast because they play the Knicks next, and the Knicks have their fair number of injuries as well. The Knicks are actually kind of a mess. Like they're 8-5, but I think Brunson's hurt. Who else is hurt here for the Knicks? Brunson and Anunoby are both out. So I don't want to act like the Mavericks have no chance, but it's like this does give them a real pathway to finding a way to win. And that game is that in New York? I can't even tell right now. Shows how good I am at my job. Yeah, they actually play that at home. That's an American Airlines Center game on Wednesday night. Interesting. So, maybe the Mavericks will win that one. We'll see. All right, Josh and I'll be back. Then I'm just going to throw this up on one episode because why not? I've recorded a lot lately. Thanks so much for hanging out. And for those who hadn't ever heard, group therapy or Mavs Party, just know you can join the show really easily. It's fun. All right. Talk soon. Go Mavs.